Every summer, my mom, my younger sister, and I spend about 2 weeks in India. We visit family and we shop, but mostly we travel and work with one of my uncles and his wife. We run medical camps where we screen for and treat diabetes in 5 villages in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, visit a nonprofit school in a tiny town called Karaikal, and spend time with people who dedicate their entire lives to altruism with no ego and much love. As we travel from village to village, we occasionally take a little detour to pray in some temple or take some quiet time for ourselves or visit a little landmark or pay respect to a family member. And for those 2 weeks, my world exists entirely inside my uncle's car. My mother and I set aside our usual work because our cell phones are off and there's no guarantee of Wi-Fi anywhere and there's a 9.5-hour time difference. But we're constantly busy from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., whether ensuring the comfort of the 5 people in that car or working for the people we came to work for. I don't have the means to check social media or read the news or catch up with my friends or use a toilet with a working flush for that matter. And you'd think that with my love of development and desire to be a citizen of the world that I would miss those things, but I don't. Not even the friends I love so much. Because it turns out I don't need anything more than I have. I'm surrounded by people who love me and whom I love, and I'm doing good work. I don't want to romanticize poverty, which I know nothing about, or imply that with the means to make a broad impact on this world that we shouldn't, but there's something to be said about working for what's right in front of you, making a deep impact on a small world, and knowing that life requires very little to be fulfilling. One night in Karaikal this past summer, the 5 of us went to the beach. We were going to go to dinner afterwards, so I decided not to get into the water because then I would have to deal with sand all through dinner, and I don't like that. But my mother told me to get in, and I said no, I didn't want to get all sandy, and she told me to get in again, and I said no again, and this time she looked at me and said, "We'll go home and shower before dinner. You don't know when you'll have the chance to do this again." And I rolled my eyes because I knew exactly what she was doing, and I smiled because I appreciated both that and the fact that she and everyone else were willing to postpone dinner for my comfort, though I would expect nothing less. And I got into the ocean. Quite frankly, I don't like going to the beach in America. On any day when it's warm enough, it's overcrowded and it smells like sunscreen and there are towels and umbrellas everywhere. But ever since I was young, I've loved going in India with my family and getting soaked in my clothes and collecting seashells and worrying my mother and grandparents with how far into the ocean I'm going. And I'm about to graduate from university. I'm not going to have summer vacations anymore. I'll be working and I don't know when I'll be able to get time off and if that time off is going to match up with my family's schedule, so I don't know when the next time I'll be able to go to India is. So when my mother said that, I got into the water, and my sister followed me, and we talked and sang and played tag with the waves, and I looked out at the rocks we'd been scrambling across earlier, and out at the horizon line, which will always be magical, and up at the night sky. And I thought about what living with my roots on the other side of the world is like. I thought about spending all day, every day working for and with others. I thought about the fact that this is all that happiness requires. I thought about the vulnerability of being in a place I'm not used to but call home, surrounded by people who've known me longest and who love me best, every grumpy, imperfect moment covered in laughter. I knew myself. Grateful and exposed and small and busy and loved in this beautiful and infinite universe. And I felt the preciousness of that moment and prayed that I could come back soon. 2016 has been an exhausting dumpster fire of a year, but if I can take the clarity and vulnerability and love and beauty of that moment with me into the years to come, I'll take it.